Okay, be honest. When was the last time someone asked how you were doing and actually waited for the real answer? Not the group chat where you're the one everyone vents to at midnight. Not the friend who calls you first when something falls apart and never once asks what's falling apart in your life. If you're the person everyone runs to, but somehow never the person anyone runs for, this one's about you. Today we're getting into why you became everyone's unpaid therapist, what it's quietly costing you, and how to stay a good friend without disappearing inside the role. Part 1. You got cast in this role. Early. Here's the thing people don't realize. Nobody wakes up one day and decides to become the group's emotional support system. You get cast in it, usually young, usually by accident, and then you just never got uncast. Maybe you were the calm kid in a chaotic house. Maybe you were praised early for being so mature, or such a good listener, which sounds like a compliment but was actually a job offer disguised as a compliment. And once people learn you'll hold their feelings for them, they keep bringing you feelings. Why wouldn't they? You're good at it, and you never say no. The tricky part is that this role feels like connection while it's happening. You're needed, you're trusted, people choose you first. But notice what that trust is actually built on. It's built on your usefulness, not your presence. Nobody's asking to sit with you in silence. They're asking you to fix, soothe, or explain their problem back to them. That's a transaction wearing the costume of intimacy. And it compounds fast, because competence gets rewarded with more of the same job. The better you get at talking someone off a ledge at midnight, the more midnights you get handed. Nobody sits down and consciously decides, I'll give my hardest feelings to this one specific person from now on. It happens gradually, one crisis at a time, until one day you look around and realize you're the unpaid, unlicensed, always-on emotional support line for half the people you know. Part 2. The One-Way Mirror. This is the part that stings a little. Inhale. Somewhere along the way, your relationships became a one-way mirror. You can see everyone, everyone's crisis, everyone's ex, everyone's 2 a.m. spiral. You know all of it in detail, but nobody's looking back at you with that same attention because you never gave them the chance. You got so fluent in asking, how are you really, that you forgot to leave space for anyone to ask you back. And even when they do ask, you've got the answer loaded and ready. I'm good, honestly, just tired. Because handing someone your actual weight feels like betraying the job. Here's the uncomfortable math behind it. Every time you say, I'm fine, to protect someone from your problems, you're quietly teaching them that you don't have any. So it's not exactly a mystery when nobody checks on you. You've spent years training your whole social circle to believe you don't need checking on. That's not their failure to notice. That's a system you built, one I'm fine at a time. It even shows up in how you phrase things when you do try to open up. Notice how you soften it. It's not a big deal, but, or, I don't want to make this about me, however. You're apologizing for having a feeling before you've even finished the sentence, and the people around you take their cue from your tone, not your words. If you deliver your pain like it's a footnote, they'll respond to it like a footnote too. Part 3. Why stopping feels like abandonment. You'd think knowing all this would make it easy to just stop. It doesn't, because somewhere in your wiring, being needed got fused with being safe. If you're useful, you get to stay. If you're not contributing anything, some old, quiet fear says you might get left. So even when you're exhausted, even when someone's third 11 p.m. crisis text lands on a night you're barely holding it together yourself, you answer. Not because you want to, because not answering feels like it might cost you the relationship entirely. That's not generosity anymore. That's fear wearing generosity's clothes. And the cruelest twist is that the role trains everyone around you to lean harder, never softer. The better you get at holding people up, the less practice they get at holding themselves up, and the less practice they get at holding you up too. You didn't just build a habit, you built an ecosystem, and every part of it depends on you never getting tired. Practical takeaways. So here's what actually shifts this. 1. Practice answering, "How are you?" with one true sentence before you pivot back to them. Just one. It doesn't have to be a whole confession. 2. Notice the friends who only text when something's wrong. That pattern is data, not a coincidence, and you're allowed to let those relationships stay smaller. 3. The next time someone dumps a crisis on you and you're running on empty, try, "I don't have the capacity to hold this right now, but I care about you." That sentence keeps you human without making you disappear. 4. Pick one person you actually trust and hand them something real on purpose before you're desperate enough that it spills out sideways. Practice being known, not just needed, while the stakes are low. Outrow look. Being the person people trust with their hardest moments isn't a flaw, it means you're safe and steady in a way a lot of people aren't. But safe and steady was supposed to be something people give you too, not just something you provide on demand. You're allowed to need someone back. You're allowed to be the one who gets asked, "How are you really for once?" That's not selfish. That's just finally being in the relationship instead of running it. Before you go, if this got a little too specific, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe if you're new here, and comment who in your life still hasn't asked how you're actually doing. No names needed, we all know who we mean. See you in the next one.